Hi, my loves. It's Jeray, Milady Girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to you all with some commentary about the most recent events at a campus in Utah, guys. Before I hop into my commentary, I want you all to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I greatly appreciate you. And look at me, guys. I'm on day 2 of an upload. I'm feeling real good about that. But guys, so listen. We all know that an unfortunate event happened yesterday. Nobody could foresee it. And, it is what it is. Now, I don't really want to talk about how I feel about the situation, in my personal opinion, because, to be quite honest with you, I don't have one. But I do want to talk about people's performative empathy that I feel like is really just shining through, okay? Shine bright like a diamond, like the empathy that's so performative. Like, what are we really doing here, guys? So if you don't know, it's okay if you didn't, you build your own algorithm, girl. CHARLIE KIRK was a 31-year-old, I guess I would call him like a political correspondent or a political pundit. He was no politician. He was no activist. He was just a younger person who was, his voice was pretty much exalted with the radical right, I should say. He did lean very conservative, borderline, you know what? And he is most famously known for saying that George Floyd was a scumbag, Martin Luther King wasn't a good person, and Black people don't deserve reparations. Now, this is just a part of his rhetoric. He is known for saying that, he understands that the Second Amendment will make for certain, I don't want to say the D word, but for people to be unalived, because he is very, pro-gun, pro-life, pro-white, and all of these different things. So that's just a quick, brief, context for you all to see who he is. Because honestly, the only reason why I knew who he was is because of some political commentary stuff that I would just watch. Because you always got to peek your head in the other side and see what these people is talking about. Now, he was on a college campus giving a speech, apparently, which is really kind of odd because he only finished like one semester of college himself. But nonetheless, he's talking to the youth, and, we saw the footage, the image all over social media, which is crazy. I feel like we are in this new space where so many times we are just seeing very, very graphic images. Like, our mind and our body is not designed to see that. We're not really designed to see human casualty in the way that we have access to by way of social media. I don't know why you're like, oh, did you see the video? No, I did not. I saw it because I was unaware. And then before it even turned left, I heard the gun, and I just quickly swiped off because literally, guys, our mind is not designed to see and consume those kind of things. This is why people come home from wars and they have PTSD, because our human psyche can't take it. Well, anyway, we saw what happened, and there is a certain level of continued divisiveness on how people are talking and discussing about this political violence that did take place. Now, people are confusing political violence with saying, he's not a politician. No, but it's still considered political violence because he was obviously unalive due to his political stances and the rhetoric, even hatred that he was spewing around. Okay, so they don't really have anyone in custody as the time of recording this, but there are some suspects at large. Anyway, since his death, there has been a lot of people who are coming forth and saying how they feel. Some who have elevated voices, some who do not. We've seen Amanda Seales kind of come forth and share what she has to say. Meek Mill has said that he feels like they're trying to bait people into a race war, which is not completely off the table. Dr. Umar released a statement saying, while I do not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and consider him to be an anti-Black bigot, I will never rejoice at the loss of a life of anyone who hasn't directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the Black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. That's what you're ashamed of? What about that house you should be ashamed of anyway? I will never ask you to mourn the loss of an enemy of our race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We know all too well that the greatest recipients of political assassinations in this country have been our own people. This is very true. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Also true. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America courtesy of the deep state. Now, I kind of agree. I do agree with what he's saying. I understand the sentiment. He's like, girl, it's no time to be laughing. We need to get serious. We've also seen an increase of HBCUs needing to go into shelter in place. There has been multiple threats when this shit happened in Utah. Okay, why are they threatening HBCUs? Okay, Howard was on a shutdown. ASU was on a shutdown or a shelter in place. And it's like, why? Why? Hampton University is on the shutdown for what? You understand what I'm saying? Because of threats. Like, why are they threatening these college students who are way somewhere outside of Utah? It just literally makes no sense. It's like these things and these events happen so that way more violence can ensue. And whether it was a person from the left or from the right, an inside job, girl, I don't want to get into all of that. This is just like the dog whistle that happened so that way people can incite more violence, unfortunately. And I just want us all to be very mindful and careful of, where we're going. Tensions are high. And, just be mindful, especially if you live in certain areas that there are nationalists around. There are people who are potentially bigots. Just try to be careful, because when things happen, it gives people a certain level of courage that they would not necessarily had before. That's how I see it. Everyone's like, oh, he's still a father. He's still a this. And, it's a shame that he lost his life this way. Hey, listen, when soldiers go to war, right, we all know that there's a chance that he may not return. Okay. And that's just a part of the job. Now, he's not a politician. However, he did incite a certain provocative way of living. And so there had to be some sort of, in my mind, preparation for the event that something, happens in that way. If you're promoting gun rights and you understand that people have to die, you just never think that the person who is might be yourself, right? And so those are one of those things that you can't really account for. But I don't think that people are celebrating. I think that it's the understanding of, well, they don't really care when we're gunned down. Right. I think there's something different between celebrating and then also to understanding and recognizing that this is just how things go. Right. This is just universal law. There's cause and effect to everything. No one is above that. It doesn't matter your political party or your race. Right. I mean, hello, is anybody home around this motherfucker? Like, I don't understand why we're having so many conversations around something that's so very obvious. Okay, if you were okay and aware that, you understand that some people have to die. And then, let's be clear, a lot of people who are unalive and impacted by gun rights are children who are in schools that are unsafe and there's mass shootings. Right. We've seen President Trump come out and, say that he's going to give him a American Hero Award. I think this award is something that I think Fannie Lou Hamer received, the civil rights activist Fannie Lou Hamer, who was brought to light. I don't remember where she was from exactly, but they were illegally giving Black women hysterectomies. I think maybe Mississippi, I'm not sure. The point I'm making is he is associating someone like a CHARLIE KIRK with someone who was an actual civil rights activist, okay? And, he's going to have a ceremony and everything like this. Keep in mind, guys, it's September 11th today. Legit. It's been 24 years. And every year America's like, never forget, never forget. I don't even think he addressed anything like this right now. This is the most pressing issue. I think that is unbelievable. I think that even when we talk about September 11th, we almost never think or talk about the young boys and women and, men and children, I should say, who were sent over to these places like Iraq and Afghanistan, knowing that it was really all a hoax. And I don't say a hoax, but you know what I'm saying? People who have served in the military due to the privatized war complex, like, girl, no. The fact that he was only 31 makes it sad because maybe, there was still time for him to change some of his philosophies and for him to see life and the world in a different way. I do think that how the right has a lot of young conservatives who can come out and spread this kind of rhetoric or propaganda or however you want to see it, tomato. I wish we can kind of see that in, other spaces and other places, right? Because young people need leaders as well. Other than that, I think it's interesting how people are tiptoeing around this when if things were reversed, people would not even bat an eyelash. In fact, they would be talking about reasons why they deserved it. Now, I'm not saying that we need to stoop down to that level, but however, it just is what it is. I want to just say it's okay to be indifferent. It's okay to be indifferent. It's okay to be not that invested in someone who could inadvertently or directly send harm your way. Now, with that being in mind, guys, please be safe. Please be mindful. Be intentional. And above all else, continue to move and groove in your life in a way that is conducive to your highest self and the greatest good. Okay? As always, I'm sending you much love and much light. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. Another thing I want to mention here, and this is specifically to my mamitas, okay? The black girlies over here who are, or black or colored or however you decide. Well, not even colored, girl, because that's a whole nother thing. Okay? If you are here and you are a woman and you understand what I'm trying to say, you picking up what I'm putting down. Black women and women in general need to get away from being in proximity to people who are into degradation. Okay, it's unfortunate that we live in a society where people like that type of thing. This is why you guys go to the trainers and they're telling you, lazy bitch, get up, bop, 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 you're big back, da, 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 da. Y'all like this. This is why you listen to some of these motivational speakers who want to curse you out. You need an accountability coach just so they can curse you out because that's what you're used to. I want y'all to know that it's a trauma response, okay? It's a trauma response to still patron and to still be in connection with someone who obviously doesn't really like you, doesn't really care about your mental well-being, but you continue to show up. It's because it's like you need that. That's something that is a trauma response, and we need to get away and step away from the fact that people will say and do whatever, and we just go back like, oh, he ain't talking about me though. He talking about them big backs. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Do not engage in anything that makes you feel less confident, that makes you or tries to demean or belittle your power. That's out. That's it. And I don't give a fuck who it is. Now that I don't care who it is. Okay. YouTuber, celebrity, mama, daddy, whoever. We're not doing that in this season. I hope you guys are well. I missed you guys so much. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. Drop down in the comments. Is this a drag? Is this a reach? Or are you feeling what I'm saying? Okay. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.